The problem with money is if you don't grow up around money, or if you don't have a family who knows about money, they aren't going to teach you about money in school, which is why majority of people in the world stay broke for the rest of their lives, because they don't get an opportunity to learn the real truth about money. In this video, I'm going to share with you 3 things I wish I knew and was taught as a teenager about money to help me get rich quicker. If you're new to my channel, my name is Ryan Maya. I have probably accumulated a net worth of $2.5 million by the age of 26 right now. And the goal of my channel is to help people just like yourself with business, life, and money lessons. The problem with most teenagers and most people nowadays, they're getting all their information on how to make money from social media. And typically most of that content is about investing, whether it's investing in real estate, whether it's investing in stocks or crypto, right? There's just all this investing to get rich advice out on the internet, and I'm here to tell you that's the farthest way to getting rich in the beginning. The first thing I wish I knew as a teenager about money is that you do not get rich from investing. You actually get rich from starting a business and creating lots of jobs and making money that way, or learning a high income skill or a high income paying job. That's how you actually build wealth and get rich fast in the short term, and then you invest that money later on. But it's impossible to get rich from investing because you basically need money to start investing. And if you're not starting with money, you're not going to get anywhere. When I was in college, right, from the time I was 19 to the age of like 23, I spent all my years learning about investing in stocks and real estate. And I spent so much time learning about investing, but I actually wasn't making any money. And then fast forward 2 years after that, I worked for a private equity real estate investment firm. So basically spent 5 years becoming foolproof on investing, but still was not rich, was not making any money. It wasn't until I started my business, my e-commerce business, which I run now, Beyond Braid, which is when I really started making real money and building real wealth for myself, because I started a business. I learned a high income paying skill, which generates $2, $3, $4 million a year, right? So I didn't start making money from investing. I started making money from learning my high income skills and starting my actual business. So that was lesson number 1 that I think a lot of people get wrong, is they want to learn about investing first when they should be investing in skills to make them more income in the short term to then invest later on. Now, the next thing I wish I knew is something I got made fun of a lot, basically my entire life growing up. So I'm actually Jewish, and what are Jews known for being? Good with money and being cheap. And that was basically me my entire life. The second lesson is you have to learn to be smart and frugal with your money in the beginning. The longer you can do this, the more it will add up over time. And let me give you an example. All throughout college and all throughout high school, I had these side little businesses and I was making money here and there, but I was not out spending that money. I was saving probably 95% of it. And I was very fortunate. I had great parents who were able to pay for a lot of my stuff. So I was able to save a lot of my money. Now, I very easily could have went out and bought fancier cars and fancier clothes and more watches at the time. But what I did was just saved all that money over and over and over. For example, if you go to McDonald's, instead of getting the large Coke, I would get the small Coke or a cup of water. Literally things like that. Any place I can save money. If I go to Chipotle, I only get chicken instead of steak to save those extra $3, $4. That's a prime example of what I did over an accumulation of years and years and years. And that adds up over time to the point where when I graduated high school, I had over $100,000 saved in my bank account, where most of my friends were either in debt or had no money to their name. Now, really let that sink in. A 21-year-old, 22-year-old kid graduating with $100,000 of cash positive in the bank rather than being in debt with student loans. That was an accumulation of being smart and frugal with my money and just making the right choices, right? Getting smaller things, not spending extra money when I had to. It's an accumulation of being frugal and smart over time, which is what's going to lead you to save up money so then you can maybe start that business like that we just talked to. You have a little bit of extra money saved that you can take a risk and put yourself in a position to become more financially free by starting a business. The more money you have saved up, the more risk you could actually take in your business ventures that could lead to much bigger things. I would have never started my businesses had I not had that chunk of money saved as kind of like my little piggy bank. And that's what really led me to be in the position today, because I was smart with my money. Even today now, I'm making great money, but I'm still pretty frugal and smart for certain things. Like there's certain things in my business that I'll happily spend a lot of money on, like camera gear and camera lighting. I'll spend 10 grand because 1, it's a business write-off, but 2, it'll help me make more money. I still don't spend stupid money on fancy dinners from time to time, but not every day. And the third thing I wish I knew about money as a teenager is Right now, as we speak, I have 14 credit cards. I have hundreds of thousands credit card points, and I've earned over $60,000 in cash back points right now. I think about $40,000 in cash back sitting there. And the reason I was able to do this, right? That sounds like stats that a 60-year-old would have on their credit cards. The reason I was able to do this is because I learned this trick, and I wish I would have learned it even earlier, and most people don't even do this. I wish I would have learned as a teenager is I need to spend every single dollar that I'm going to spend anyways on a credit card instead of a debit card, right? If you're gonna fill up for gas, put it on a credit card. If you're gonna go buy food, put it on a credit card. And then you take that credit card bill and you pay it off once per week. I know there's all these gurus that talk about credit utilization. You should only pay it off at certain times of the month. Forget that. You pay it off once a week. You never spend more than what you have in the bank account. So for example, if your checking account has $1,000, but your credit card has a limit of $3,000, you're never spending more than that $1,000. And the reason is you're going to put it on a debit card anyways. You're going to pay for it. You might as well get some sort of reward, cashback points, travel bonuses. And that's how that stuff adds up over time. And you're building your credit. So in the future, you can go get loans for properties or go get loans for a business because you have good credit. I have an 820 credit score at the age of 26 because all of my expenses I put on a credit card. Unfortunately, my mom does not use a credit card. She uses a debit card for all her purchases because she's scared she's going to spend more money than she has in her bank account. This is where it requires you to be disciplined and say, look, I only have this much money. I can only spend this much money. Treat it just like a debit card. However much money you have in your bank account, that's how much money you can spend. And over time, that will add up to crazy things like being able to travel or using that cash back to buy camera equipment or invest in your business. That's what I've done. I've taken the cash back that I've earned on my business credit cards and I use them to then further invest in my videos. And that's exactly what I've done. I've taken the cash back from my business credit cards and reinvest them into my business to buy extra equipment or buy things that can help move the business along. And it's extra free money just because I decided to use a credit card. And that's something I wish I would have known earlier. And if you're young and you're a teenager right now and you can't get a credit card yourself, you can easily have a parent co-apply or apply themselves and put you on the credit card. That way you can start using it and build up credit and then eventually go get your own. That's exactly how I started with my very own first credit card. Money's a tricky game. And as a teenager, it's hard to make money. But I think the number one way to actually make money as a teenager is through a side hustle. So if you go watch this video right here, I reveal the absolute truth about all the side hustle videos that you're seeing on the internet. Guys, if you got some value, like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.